What is going on, Gridwise? Welcome back to another episode. Today's topic, first of all, Jay here. Pardon my ignorance. Jay here and Brandon, welcome.
What's up, guys?
I just got really excited. I wanted to jump straight to the
Just
topic.
wanted to jump right into it. There's
Which
a lot of good things to talk about today, so I can understand
let us
your.
talk about. Let's give you guys. Let's whet your appetite a little bit with a little bit of a rundown of what we're talking about. First, there's been some social media defamation going around. Uber driver got blasted on Facebook for trying to do a nice deed to a passenger who she reported all over social media, went viral, and now he may lose his job. Second topic.
Second topic is going to be hold on. Some Uber trips, definitely at airports, are going to start to require a PIN match to verify, which is interesting for a lot of different reasons that we'll go into.
And third
Safety
topic.
reasons, plus maybe the more efficient. I don't know.
And then the third topic, we're going to be talking about Phoenix Airport is no longer, Uber's no longer a Phoenix Airport anymore. Go on.
What it won't be, and we'll go into like why that is and what that kind of means for definitely drivers in Phoenix, because you might be very, very, very directly affected, but
Yeah.
also potentially drivers in other areas, because if Uber does one thing, or if Uber or Lyft or whoever in the rideshare community does one thing, it might spread to other markets.
And then fourth topic.
A German court rules Uber illegal. That could be a pretty clickbaity title. Maybe we should have a clickbait title if Uber is illegal. But yeah, that happened. So we'll definitely get into that for sure.
And am I missing anything? I don't think so.
So one thing that like literally just happened that I do want to like touch on, a CNN article talking about how it's more of an article just around like homelessness caused by the rising cost to live in LA, but it also is she's an Uber driver, so it kind of highlights how driver pay isn't, especially in some markets, it's not enough to sustain yourself, and it also looks like it's kind of trending down. So to be able to, we can definitely kind of get into that a little bit.
And did you say CNN?
CNN front page right now, though I guess we're going to send this out tomorrow, so you might not actually see it as the front page, but it was on the front page.
Just trust Brandon. It's on the front
Trust
page.
me.
And the first line, that's how the article starts off with, as an Uber driver. So and so. So yeah, we're blasting Uber drivers here. Not Uber. We're blasting Uber and the low pay and the rising rent costs in
Relevant stuff.
California.
Let's get into the first thing here. Let's dig into like this defamation.
So basically, a lady gets in her car complaining of being sick because people are getting sick. There's the bug traveling around, and she's a little bit stuffy in her nostrils, her sinus cavities, and her Uber driver wife and him are into essential oils and remedies, was just trying to do the right thing, was just trying to help his passenger. He put a little bit of peppermint oil on a napkin, and he, keep in mind he's driving while he's doing this, and he's just trying to be nice. He goes, smell this. So it made it come off a little bit misunderstood, but his intentions were good and wholehearted. All he wanted to do was to help his passengers' congestion. And Brandon, she took this as, I'm going to get chloroform. He is trying to knock me out with some kind of drugs. She puts it all over Facebook. Literally, she wrote, I am never been so effing scared in my life. Blasted it. This thing takes off all over Facebook, all over social media. Here's where I had an issue with. She never kept his identity secret. She blasted his profile picture, first name, last name, to the point where the man found out, the poor driver found out when his relatives called him crying, saying, what did you do? Are you okay? You are all over that Facebook, all over. Can you imagine, Brandon? The horror?
That's rough. And I mean, I'll definitely say, like, to start, I definitely understand like how this girl felt. Like it's definitely kind of a weird thing, right? Like it's and given kind of like the overall like environment around like rideshare right now. Like I get like her kind of like fear and like reaction from like an emotional standpoint, how she was scared. Like I totally get that, and I think it's completely valid, completely 1,000% understandable. I think that it's just disappointing that and kind of instead of kind of being able to clarify the situation, it ended up something where she just kind of like blasted his name in like picture his complete identity all over the internet, and really did kind of take something that was just a complete misunderstanding and kind of really kind of screw this guy's life up to the point where he's contacting news networks saying like, listen, help me clear my name here.
And good thing the news networks did air his grievances. And I saw the interview. Poor guy, man. He was just like, it's the holiday season, and imagine yourself getting stabbed in the back for trying to do something kind.
Yeah.
And I will say she definitely overreacted and took it overboard.
Yeah.
In my opinion, she should have used the built-in features that Uber provided, the safety network, if she felt threatened at all, instead of just putting this on blast on social media multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Her identity, we don't even know what her first or last name is. Who's the real victim here?
It's always great to not publicly put people on blast before you really completely understand the situation, which I'm sure she thought she understood it, but clearly she didn't. So, to me, that kind of like also kind of raises kind of like 2 points. Is one, like, a lot like with like again like the environment around rideshare, like around like safety, it's people really feel like passengers are the kind of the ones at risk. But again, like drivers, we talked about this last week. Drivers are definitely I can't remember the exact stat, but I think sexual assaults done to drivers as opposed to passengers is 50-50. Don't completely quote me on that, but it's about 50-50. So while it's it can be a dangerous environment for passengers, it can be equally a dangerous environment for drivers. Well.
I agree with you 1,000,000%, Brandon. I mean, we are just. I'm sick and tired of being referred to as just Uber driver, our Uber driver, that Uber driver, this Uber driver.
Right.
We're human beings. We're out there making a living as best as we can in a tough situation that we're in. And we're not even, Uber's official policies, we're not even allowed to protect ourselves. We can't have anything in the car but, like, I don't know. I don't even think pepper spray is allowed. That's against terms of services.
They're different for each company. I'm not completely sure, but I know that, there's certainly like restrictions.
And I want to ask our viewers here, our listeners, do you think that there should be more restrictions in place for passengers? Because it seems to me right now, anybody with a credit card or a Visa gift card can make an account with a fake name and get on the platform, because all these companies care about are profits. I think there should be restricted access to the platform for passengers too. And if you mess up, it's not 3 strikes, you're out. Brandon, I think it's 1 strike, you're out.
Yeah. You're a little aggressive there. That's also never, Uber and Lyft are never going to do that. But
all right, listeners, viewers, if you agree with Jay, me, hit that like button. If you agree with Brandon, subscribe button.
I am, to be clear, I am not saying it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying I really don't think it will happen. But I will also add to say here, one thing that you definitely see a lot with passengers is just like them like lying about stuff. Like if you talk to any Uber driver, I'm sure all of our viewers are pretty much Uber drivers. A lot of you guys have either had this happen to you or have talked to someone that this happened to, where you have a passenger basically lying about something that you did, whether it's like your car was smelly or like you
smell like marijuana.
Yeah, or like you were driving erratically or speeding.
Smell drunk.
Something where they have just blatantly lied in order to get like their $5 trip free. It happens all the time.
All the time.
And this is more of a misunderstanding than that kind of like blatant lie, but it just kind of highlights the fact that passengers do this thing where they kind of spread these mistruths a lot of the time, and it's just like that. If anything, I think they need to figure out some way to protect drivers against that than anything.
And I think there should be consequences for the lady who caused this to go viral. That you can't just get away scot-free. That's ridiculous, in my opinion. I mean, this poor guy is at jeopardy of losing his livelihood. And not only that, his future prospects. What if he's trying to apply for a job and people look him up in the news? Does any company want to be interviewing and potentially hiring someone who has this kind of social baggage attached to him? Probably not.
Yeah. Is he did he have any backlash from the
No backlash. That would be a PR
from
nightmare.
PNCs themselves?
Yeah, it would be a PR nightmare if Uber or Lyft decided like backlash.
Well, I mean, like, did he get like put on hold or deactivated from Uber or Lyft?
I did not read, but my assumption is you get deactivated and paused for any BS reason. And then if this lady blasted on social media, they probably already deactivated his account. Pending investigation. Pending further investigation.
I hope. I certainly in this case, I hope not. This is an unfortunate one. So
drivers, get emotional about this. Really start to feel. Put yourself in his shoes.
Get emotional. Get angry.
Drivers united.
I would definitely say, one thing that like every driver should have is like a dash cam. If you can. I mean, you can get them for so cheap nowadays. A dash cam, because like things like this, where you can be accused of some sort of issue, or like in reverse, like you are clearly getting attacked. Things like this happen, and there are a couple of free apps out there that you can check out. Try Driver, I know, it's one that's one of our partners that you can definitely kind of look at. There's definitely like a number of like really cheap ones out there. Definitely think about getting a dash cam, because like just being able to protect yourself like that is important.
I think Uber should give every driver a free dash cam.
A free dash cam?
And if you agree with me, let me know in the comment section below, guys. And make sure you subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, so next up, something kind of an interesting new addition to kind of like the Uber platform for both riders and drivers is Uber is now requiring a PIN match to verify your ride.
Really?
Yep.
So how is this?
Yep. So go ahead.
How does this work? I mean, isn't a name enough?
So apparently not. So like again, like this is one of the things that they're doing from like a safety perspective in light of kind of all the backlash that they got around like their safety report a couple weeks ago. They are definitely doing a lot in terms of trying to make the platform safer. And then one of these things is like, okay, they're going to have riders tell you a unique 4-digit PIN, and then I guess as drivers, you're going to have 5 attempts to be able to hit like their correct PIN, and all that is, and that's just to make sure that you don't have like these incidents where riders are just getting into these cars,
which is never
and they
happened.
have no idea who it is.
It's never happened. I've always confirmed like the name.
I think most do, and I mean, yeah, I mean, I know every time I take an Uber ride, I'm like, you are.
Yeah, I look at the license plate.
A little bit back and forth. Yeah, and then you peek over and you can see like their app, and you see, oh, that's my name and things like that. There's usually a pretty solid verification. You also check like the license plate and stuff like that.
But I'm also
like
a 495 rider. Yeah.
You're also what?
A 495 rider. Star rating.
You're 40. Not to brag or anything.
Not to, I mean, I'm not your below average rider here. I tip.
I'm only a 484 rider. I feel like I'm getting.
Should we
like,
edit that part out? Are we supposed to? Should we let this go in the podcast? 484.
I don't know what I must have been. I think like early on in Uber, I was young. I'm sure I had some rough like drunken nights that I'm paying the price for. And
let us know in the comment section, guys.
Because I like a couple of years ago, I think I was legit like a 4.5.
What?
From a rider perspective.
Dude, that is bad. Nobody would pick you up.
I don't know. I don't even know what I was doing.
Most drivers cut it off at like 4.6. 4.6 is like, this is iffy.
I wonder. I wish I could see like the. I wish I could get like a backlog of like who gave me like this. Who gave me like this horrible
It was
rating?
probably me. You probably got in my car. I was like, you know what?
And did
This
they
guy, 1 star.
did they give me like comments? Like I want to know what I did.
This
So I can
guy just
apologize.
he looks drunk, and he vomited in my back car.
I've never vomited in a car, but I have vomited. I have jumped out of a vehicle and vomited uh, on the sidewalk,
Nice.
which I think is fine. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
All right,
I mean, it could be worse.
484 on this side, 495 on this side. Drivers. Yeah. Next topic, right?
Okay, but like again, like you're gonna have to start matching pins. At a lot of airports, they're kind of starting to do this already.
Yeah.
But it says it's only for certain trips. So who knows how this is gonna roll out? This is it's something that was just kind of released early December. So we'll see how this manifests, and we'll kind of be tracking and seeing, understanding what happens.
Exactly, and it's important for you guys to keep up to date on these kind of developments because these are the things that do affect you eventually. Okay, so if you're listening to this, you're watching this, you're a driver, trust us. You wanna be keeping up with what's in the know in the industry. So with that being said,
Right.
also subscribe to the channel because we do talk about all the major trending happenings in the rideshare industry because we're in the industry.
Yep. So another interesting thing that we talked about yesterday, and I feel like we might have a little bit of egg on our face or not yesterday, but last week, we might have a little bit of egg on our face because, so we talked about how Phoenix Airport, they are potentially raising, right? But are they? Sorry, wait.
They're raising their rates, and then
Sorry,
Uber is threatening.
Yeah, so Uber is raising their rate, or no, Phoenix Airport is going to start to raise
Right.
like their rates for how much they charge Uber just in general in
I
order
think it
to
went
pick
from
up a fee.
$3 to $4.
It was $2.66, but basically $3 to $4. And so Uber, at least Uber, I don't think it was Lyft, but I know it was Uber. They said, no, forget this. We're going to be out of here.
And you know how they crafted their statement? I was so appalled. They're like, we're not going to stand for Phoenix Airport to rake off the hardworking backs of women of our drivers or something like that. Basically being like, we're with the drivers. Our drivers are hard workers, and we won't stand for Phoenix Airport taking advantage of them. It's like, dude, like, what? Like, no.
Yeah. So, and I think we both agree, like, okay, this is probably some grandstanding by Uber. Like, I think, like, at the end of the day, then they're just going to take that hit and then just keep on rolling. Wrong we were, because they released a statement and said, we're not having any of this. We are out of here.
They are out of here.
Out of here. So
Out of here.
that took us back a little bit. Now, let's also note that, like, this isn't going to actually happen until February, and February 1st, I think this actually will go into effect. So there's going to be some time for them to be able to actually kind of figure things out and like work together to see like how they can not do this. And I still think that's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
But I didn't even think it would go this far.
No.
So,
but Phoenix driver, don't get too riled up yet because you can still drive to the airport with Uber, but keep in mind they have us at that line where they're rolling out. But
yeah,
we predict that it's not going to happen because it's too much on the line.
I think they'll figure something out. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to say, okay, like there's like $1.34 or whatever, like, and it's going to increase every year. I think it ended up gets like $4.50 or something like that after like 2022. But like I don't think it's a little bit surprising to me that they're going to say, okay, like there's this $2 like fee that we could just pass on to like a rider and a driver,
which is what the worst case scenario, and that's what they're going to do. They're not going to eat that cost themselves, which is why I thought it was preposterous they like made that statement. We're not going to stand for Phoenix Airport and take advantage of our drivers. Like, dude, you're going to pass that cost off to the driver or the passenger. You're not going to eat that.
So, yeah. So it's like, it seems like a low cost thing that they would like kind of like really like drill in on. So I'm like surprised that they have even taken it this far. I
You know
guess.
why? I'll tell you why. Sorry for cutting you off, but I'll tell you why.
No, go ahead.
You want to know why? Because it sets a dangerous precedent. If they back off and let Phoenix do them dirty like this, what's to stop other airports in other cities from going, oh well, Uber has no spine. Let's increase our rates. And next thing you know, you have all of these airports increasing their take and their share
Yeah,
of the pie.
100%. I mean, Uber's gotten pretty good at like this legal battle thing. So I think they, unfortunately, so I think they kind of understand like when they shouldn't make their stands. And I agree with you. Like they're probably just saying like, okay, we're not gonna get like we're not about to like let Chicago and DC and LA and every market
New
like
York.
know like okay that we'll like bend at like the first like thing. So they're probably putting up a little bit of a fight. I mean, but that's again like why at the end of the day, like I think they'll figure something out because like I think it is just more about like they need to show force rather than really completely pull out of like a ton of revenue just so that they can save $2 a ride
Yeah.
that they're going to pass it on to the riders anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know about it, but keep an eye on this. Like, and we'll definitely keep an eye on it because again, like this is probably gonna set a little bit of a precedent for what you see with like legal battles going on around the country and around the world with like Uber and Lyft and Via and any TNC. It's gonna set the precedent for that stuff, and then obviously for Phoenix drivers, yeah, like does it make sense for me to think about the airport anymore? Or like also, I think this is just Uber, so maybe this is a case where everyone just signs up for Lyft.
Well, can you imagine the
I don't know.
market share? Like, if the only airport option is Lyft, like, what's gonna happen? I was gonna say, this is great. This is not well, obviously not great, but this is news on the home front. But we also, Brendan, we also have some news on the international global front. Apparently, somewhere in Germany, a German court did what, Brandon?
They declared Uber illegal. Illegal, which is kind of like a pretty big again, like that'd be a nice like little clickbait article, but they basically made a decision that bans the company from offering rides to people in 7 cities where Uber operates in Germany.
That's huge.
I'm not really. Go ahead.
That's huge. I'm just making banter. That's huge.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like in terms of like what like when this all goes into place, or kind of like what everything. Like I'm not completely sure. I haven't done like enough research into like this specific topic. Just from like a headline perspective and kind of like the given like Uber's like legal woes across the world, like it's like a big deal.
It is, and it kind of sets precedent for the European theater, because they're trying. Germany's a huge country. It's I think it's one of the largest GDP in terms of the European Union, and Uber wants to get into that market. It wants to get into that revenue slice, and this is just a huge setback.
Yeah, I mean, this is again something that I have a hard time thinking. Again, like Uber's figured out so many of like their legal problems. Like we talk about like the stuff and they're like the issues that they're having in London, and again, that makes for like a great headline. Like, Uber is kicked out of London, but I think there's a really, really, really. I mean, first of all, they're still operating there, and there's a really, really, really good chance that they figure out whatever issues they're having in London, and they fix that issue, and you're not going to see any sort of like non-surface there. And I think this is again another case where, again, it sounds like huge and like Uber is dead. You see all those headlines, Uber is dead. And I think like that is probably just not going to be the case here.
And speaking of big issues, what is going on in California with rent and homelessness?
Yeah, so I mean, this is I think if you are a California driver, if you've been to California, if you know anything about California, you understand that like cost of living out there is insane. You're paying in like the Bay Area, you might be paying like $3,000, $2,500 a month for like a studio, depending on like where you are. And even in LA, like prices are getting super high for the cost of living.
Mm-hmm.
And then so what you're starting to see like these more and more people have to basically live out of their car. And again, like right now on CNN, the number one topic is this article about this woman who is an Uber driver that has been living out of her car and just Ubering for her income, and doesn't really sound like she has like she understands like a way to kind of get out of that hole.
Right.
But she's Ubering around as her cost of living continues to increase, because of rents continue to increase, but your pay as a driver continues to tick down. So you're kind of in a hole right there if you're in one of those markets.
But there is a brighter side to that story, in that I don't want to make the whole thing stinks. But if there's one thing good coming out of that article, is that there is a nonprofit, there's a charity organization that provides safe parking spaces for people such as yourselves to park at night, camp out in their cars and sleep. And they also provide security guards. So now security guards are walking around patrolling these safe parking lots, making sure that nobody gets their stuff stolen, nobody gets, harassed. And she's a woman driver, she says, I'm so grateful for this because I feel safer. So,
which is phenomenal. That's amazing. I'm very glad that's around. I wish two things. I wish that cost of living in California wasn't completely out of control, because obviously all the tech jobs and things like that. I also wish that drivers had a way to be able to be earning more instead of earning less. Not that there's no way to do that. There's a lot of ways. Gridwise is one way that can potentially help you do that. But I wish it was, I do wish it was like 4 or 5 years ago, where you could like use Uber and Lyft as a full-time job and be able to kind of make a decent living. So. Again, not that in every market you can't do that. Even in like a lot of like the markets in California, you can do that. It's just it just shows, it's much harder. Which is a big reason why, again, like AB5 and kind of all the issues that come, all like the conversations that come along with that are going to be kind of really important.
Yeah. Well, those are some pretty hard-hitting topics I think we covered.
Yeah, nice and depressing podcast before your Christmas holiday.
Hey, but these are the important things that all drivers should be privy to. If you are driving, you need to keep up to date on these sort of developments. And what better way to do that than to hit the subscribe button right now, or follow our podcast, actual podcast, which would be the audio form. Sharing this with all of your drivers, friends on Facebook, on social media. Use that share button below and give this video a thumbs up. And please comment below. Let's discuss. Let's talk. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yep. Happy holidays. Are we going to take the week off from next week? What day is next week? Next Tuesday. I think we are taking the week off next week.
We'll probably send it out the following Tuesday, next podcast.
Right, but like the following Tuesday is so like we're probably not gonna send it out on New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah. Well. See you next time.
Next time, drivers. We'll see you next time.
Stay safe.